Thanks for tuning in to this One Cool Thing podcast on a couple Google apps I want to teach you about. They're three of my favorite ones: Google Keep, Google Tasks, and Google Calendar. You can see there are many apps within the Google Suite, but I think these three are my favorite because they help me move seamlessly between my desktop computer and my mobile devices, my iPad and my iPhone. They also help me seamlessly move between different apps within the Google Suite, such as Google Docs or Google Drive, Gmail. And so the first one I want to talk about here is Google Keep. Google Keep is basically like a Post-it note app. And you can see that I've already created one here that highlights some of the things I want to talk about, or why I think Google Keep is awesome. I've already mentioned how it integrates with the whole Google Suite from Gmail to Google Docs. It has a mobile app, so what I do on my computer then shows up on my mobile device and vice versa. It's easy to organize with labels and colors. You can create to-do lists like you can see here that I've done. You can create reminders based on time or location. You can add collaborators. You can include multiple forms of media such as drawings or pictures. And you can use dictate and use voice to text. So let me show you some of these things that I just talked about and how I did that. So in the bottom left hand corner you'll see this little plus sign, and here you could add a photo. By taking a photo, you could choose an image you already have, you could do a drawing, or you could just start talking and record. So I'll show you the drawing really quick. So you could either use your finger, or you could use a stylus and save that. You could exit out of that. So there's my drawing. You could do a recording and just start talking, and it will dictate what you say into text. And then when you stop talking, it stops, which is really cool. A little bit more in the bottom right hand corner, you can see I could delete this. I could make a copy of it, I could send it. So here I could post it on social media, or I could share in various different ways. I can add collaborators, so I can type in the email of somebody and then it will show up in their Google Keep. Going back to this, I can pin, so you see this little thumbtack up here, you can see that you can pin it. So when you have a lot of notes, you may want some to show always at the top, so you can do that. This little bell with the plus sign, so here you can get reminders for both time and location. So maybe I want to be reminded of my to-do list when I get to Saratoga High School. So now, if I hit the little check box, when I get to Saratoga High School, I'll get a notification reminding me to take care of that task. How do I organize with labels and colors? Back down here, these three little dots, I can change the color by tapping on here. I can add labels. I've already created label 1 and label 2, so I can tag, maybe I'll just do label 1. Now, later on, and I'll show you here, I could look at just notes that are organized with label 1. And yeah, I think I've shown you everything there. So let me exit out of here. And so here I am within my notes. In the upper left-hand corner, you can see there's the labels I've already created. I could create a new label. So there's my label 3. I'm done with that. Now, if I wanted to create a new note, I could come down here to the bottom right, where I can just start taking a note, or maybe I want to create a new to-do list. Do that. Or maybe I want to just start speaking and turn it into a voice text. Maybe I don't have the ability to type right now. So there's my voice to text. Or maybe I want to take a photo and create a note with that photo. Now I can, when I have a lot of notes, I can search my notes, and I can search based on type of notes, which is really cool. I can change the format, so I can make it in a list form or a block form. So that's really cool. So that's kind of like a quick overview of the Google Keep app. I'm going to exit out of that and show you Google Tasks. So tasks are kind of like those to-do lists. So I would say you could either use the check boxes or tasks. And task is a lot more stripped down, it's a lot more basic, but basically you create a task and it shows up as your to-do list, and when you complete it, you check it and it goes away. You use the little 3 lines. You can have different types of tasks, so you could have a work one, maybe a personal task list, maybe create a new list altogether. And you can sort by however you prefer, and this to-do list shows up in your Gmail. And one of the things I really like, and you can see this in another video, is you can immediately add an email to a to-do list, and you can specify a date or time that you want to be reminded to complete that task. So that's really cool. So tasks is pretty straightforward. It's very, very simple. The last thing then is Google Calendar. So Google Calendar also integrates with your app within your Gmail or other Google apps. So pretty straightforward. I would say it's very similar to what you have on your computer, though it doesn't have as many editing functions. So if you're going to do any major changes, best to do it on your computer. But to create an event, you just come down here and click on the little plus sign. A couple different options, but to create an event, I'm going to create the title of my event. I can add guests, so they would get an email notification of my event. I can specify the time, both start and finish, or I can make it an all day sort of thing. I can add a room or location. I can specify when I'm reminded about it. If I want to make it a Google Hangout, I can select that option. That makes it a Google Hangout. I can change the color. I can spell out the details here of what the meeting is about. I can attach a document from my Google Drive. I can specify what the calendar is, and there it is. Now, one of the new things in the suite is you can have reminders. So again, this is kind of like tasks or that to-do list. So pick the one that really works for you, but here you can just get a reminder on a certain day to do a certain thing, which is kind of nice. You can and this is a new one. You can have a goal. So here you can kind of mix in a little bit of the personal with the professional. So here you can, get a reminder to exercise, and you can tell it what your goals are. I want to do yoga, and I'd like to do it 3 days a week for about 30 minutes. Best time is going to be in the evening, and so now my calendar will automatically schedule those things, and it will find time in my schedule to schedule those for me, and then I can tweak them as I'd like. So that's a quick overview of 3 of the many Google apps: Google Keep, Google Tasks, and Google Calendar. There's a lot more to them, but start dabbling with them. I think you'll find there's a lot of opportunities to use them. I can do follow-up videos on how to use Google Keep with students and teaching them how to use that to increase their productivity and workflow. All right, thanks for listening. Talk to you later.